Hell, I don't know if you guys can hear this, but two of my cats are literally under my bed. It sounds like they're having like they're fighting or hissing each other. Oh, here's one. Oh, look who I found. Oh, come on. Show yourself to the people again. It's our friend the Rally Cat. Woo! Go Browns! Woo! Think you're doing? Getting yourself into damn trouble. Go beat up any of the other friends that are out there. Go on. Damn thing. But yeah, what's going on, everybody? Crazy Dog back with a very special live stream for you guys on this Wednesday afternoon, which means NFL is back tomorrow. I know, right? Yep. Starting tomorrow, we get football. Tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, Saturday with college, Sunday, Monday. Fun week, right? That's what's crazy about this whole thing. If you really sit back and think about it, for the last week or so, we've had football Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, yesterday and today. Got a little break. Then football is back tomorrow. And then, of course, you get, Friday with NFL and college, a little bit. Then you get Saturday for college, Sunday for NFL, Monday for NFL. Time to be alive, man. Isn't it? Of this time of year. Yeah, so you see the title. You know what's about to go down. In this stream, I will be giving y'all my 2025 2026 NFL season predictions for the entire league, mm-hmm. Including the Browns, of course. Now, obviously, the main goal is here, right? Super Bowl and Levi's. Of course, we all remember what happened the last time the Super Bowl was there. I know CPG remembers. Any Broncos fan watching remembers. Yep. It's crazy, right? I think it was the last time. It's been 12 years. Super Bowl 50. No, 10 years. Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, 2015. That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, not really great with Roman numerals. But yeah, that is insane when you really think about it. Yeah, what's up? Fox says Browns go 7-10. Cam Newton was on top of the world. He was this close to a Super Bowl. Crazy, right? And it's even crazier that in a few short years later, he floundered out because his shoulder was all messed up. That Steeler game completely cooked him. That was a Thursday night Steeler game. I think he took a bad hit on the shoulder and messed him up for the rest of his career. He used to have a very strong throwing arm, but then he took that hit and he went noodle arm. So, anyways, enough of the hullabaloo and bull garbage. Let's get into the predictions. What's up, Karam? Got Lions Ravens in the Super Bowl. You know what's funny? I looked at last year's predictions. I had the Eagles making the Super Bowl, and they won it against the Texans. I was close. Takes home the Lombardi. I'm doing this until he does. Damn. All right. So, of course, we're going to start off with my division. Let's roll on with the team that finished in last. Let's get it set up here. All right, I think we're all set. All right. Browns, of course. So, week one, we have the Bungles. As you know, the Browns have only lost to them frauds one time at home since 2017, and that was last year. When the Browns were so damn unserious, it was so bad. So you know what I got happening. Browns gonna go out there in front of the hometown crowd. They're gonna put on a show, and the Bungles are gonna get bungled by an old man Joe Flacco. Not even being a homer, I got the Browns winning week one. But of course, in typical Browns fashion, they go to Baltimore after a big win and they lay a damn egg. And of course, that is the anniversary day. The Ravens are celebrating, I think it's their 30th anniversary this year. God, that's crazy too. And Joe Flacco will be in town. And they're going to welcome him back by beating his ass. Because that's what they're going to do. That team is insane. Week three, we have the Packers at home. I think it'll be close. But I think Jordan Love does enough to beat us. Week four, we go to Detroit. Detroit beats us. Now we go to London, facing JJ McCarthy and the Vikings. You know, Kevin's old team. And I think this is where he goes super try hard and he actually pulls out a win out of his crack. And we leave London with a W. And then we go to Pittsburgh again, as usual. We get our butt whipped. This time by old man Aaron Rodgers. We have the retirement home bowl. Joe Flacco old ass versus Aaron Rodgers' old ass. Okay. And then we come back home to face Miami and we beat them. And then we go to New England and we somehow beat them. So, you know, we're going into the bye feeling pretty good. Right? And you know, 4-4, going to New York to face the Jets. Jets are a solid team. But there's this weird thing where we don't lose to Justin Fields pretty much. So I think for somehow that tradition continues. We beat the Jets, and then we rally and beat the Ravens because we always split with them. No matter how bad we are and how good they are, we always split with the Ravens. And then we go to Vegas. We don't win out there. We're gonna lose. We host the Niners. We'll see how the Niners look this year, but they're not really that scary of a team. I think the Browns beat them, and we're 7-5. And then we have the Titans. I'm gonna say we beat them. They're gonna be one of the worst teams in the league this year. The Bears on the road, you know it's going to be freezing. I don't even know who our QB going to be either. Is it going to be a rookie by this time? Is it going to be Joe? Is Joe Flacco actually going to last the entire season? No, no, no. Obviously not. You know, I'm actually going to move my camera down here a little bit so y'all can see what I'm looking at. There we are. Bro, I got these two cats in here just rumbling like crazy under my bed right now. What the hell? Yeah, we have barn cats outside, and a couple of them have discovered the life hack of coming in here to eat. They figure, well, I ain't got to worry about fighting for food by coming in here. So yeah, they've discovered the infinite food hack, and they just made themselves at home. So we got the Bears on the road. It's going to be freezing, and I got us actually losing to the Bears somehow, some way. You know it'll happen like that. Lose to Buffalo, beat Pittsburgh, and then lose to Cincinnati on the road. So we end 10-7. Oh, crazy dog, your team's not going to win 10 games. That's what I've heard a lot of people say. But they don't look at the roster that we have, right? They don't bother to do their damn research. All they see is Joe Flacco at quarterback. They don't look at the receivers, all this, the other weapons. They don't dig deep and realize, oh yeah, they're going back to playing Stefanski ball, which is what they were successful at a few years ago. We made the damn playoffs running the damn ball. And oh yeah, this year we got 2 or 3 really good running backs. And they're all youngsters. Then you have Jerome Ford. If Jerome Ford can just run straight ahead, he could be good. This roster is not built to be a 6-win team. To mention, if we see vintage Joe Flacco, I mean, no, that's just the ceiling. The ceiling I have is for 10-7. The floor? You guys want to see the floor? That's cute. Loss. Loss. We somehow beat the Patriots. No, actually, no, we always lose to them. Loss. Loss. Beat the Ravens. Loss. Beat the Titans. Lose to the Bears. And then any other ones? No. 2-13 is our floor. It's a really high ceiling and a really deep floor. And it all depends on a few factors. Joe Flacco, possibly the rookie quarterbacks, and the health of the team. If our defense looks anything like it did in 2023, because again, most of the guys from that team are still here. It's not like we have a whole bunch of losers. Most of our defense is still here from that 2023 defense. Only a few names are gone. I mean, 10-7 is doable. It's very doable. So we win that one. We beat the Dolphins, lose to them, beat the Jets. 7-10. Beat them. Beat them. Lose to the Bears. Okay. It's kind of like my middle tier right here. Yeah. 9. It's honestly, I think, where we're going to end up. Probably like right around 8 and 9 around there. So that's how it's going to go. Browns fans want us to suck because we have two first rounders this year. You know how that goes. When we want the team to suck, they do really well. Not to mention, I didn't go to training camp this year, so they're going to be really good. Because apparently I'm a curse. All right, so I think overall, I'm going to actually stick with the 8-9 record here. This is my overall record. The ceiling is 10-7. The floor is 4-13. I'll say they'll be right in the middle, about 8-9, 7-10 around there. Yeah. That's what I have for that. Now, let's go to the team that finished in third, which I believe. Let me pull up the standings on my phone here. I really don't want to lose this stream, so let's go to the ESPN app. People are gonna be like, oh, they're gonna go 8-9. How do you know? Huh? We better get revenge for the 14-point blown lead in 2022 against the Jets. We already got a revenge for that. We kicked their butt a couple years ago. Remember the game where Joe Flacco went out there and cooked them? That was fun. You get the Browns winning week 1. Love that. Don't tell Dashi that, Karam. He'll ban you from his channel. That's what really kills me about these like outsiders, right? People that don't watch this team. All they do is look at the depth chart. They don't dig deep on the roster, right? And I'm not expecting other fan bases to know everything about the Browns. But damn, at least do a little bit of research. A little bit. But then again, they ain't going to do research for a team they don't care about. I mean, literally, like, Jim Schwartz is still here. And I mean, our defense was actually really good last year. It's just the offense was anemic. If our offense had even a slight pulse last year, we might have won a couple more games. So I'm going to do it based off of the division standings from last year. Ah, man. All this talking makes me thirsty. All right, so we go there. Okay, so we Cincinnati next. Oh, joy. So, flipping on over to them. And as you see, I have them splitting with the Browns. As you will notice, the website I use, playoffpredictors.com, it actually fills in the team's record as you go. So by the end of this, we'll pretty much know every team's record. So week 1, I have the Browns beating the Bungles, and you know what's going to happen. They're going to go against the Jags week 2, and they're going to kick their butt, which I'm actually kind of rooting for because I need the Jags to be horrible this year. Then they face the Vikings week 3 on the road. That's going to be tough. Burrow against McCarthy. 2 really solid teams. I think. The hell? I think the Vikings are going to pull it off by the skin of their teeth. Then they go to Mile High. They're not going to beat them in Mile High. Mile High is very tough, and that Bronco team is good. So I got them losing back to back. So they start off 1-3 in their first 4. They host Detroit. They're going to beat Detroit. Then they're going to go to Lambeau. I got them losing to the Packers. Then they rattle off 3 straight wins in convincing fashion, whooping the Steelers, kicking the crap out of the Jets, and then smoking the Bears to go into their bye at 6-4. Coming out of a bye, they go to Pittsburgh, a place where they've had trouble. But I got them. I'm going to have them losing to the Steelers. And they, again, kick the crap out of the Patriots for last year. Then they go to Baltimore. They can't win seemingly in Baltimore these days. Baltimore owns them lately. Baltimore beats them. Buffalo beats them. And then they host the Ravens. They get that clap back. Then they face the Dolphins week 16 in Miami. And I'm going to say Bengals win. They face the Cardinals at home. Cardinals got a solid team, but Bengals outclassed them. So I have the Bengals going 10-7 this year. Then we go to Pittsburgh. Starting off with the Jets against Justin Fields. Talked about it in my picks stream last night. Rodgers and Fields facing their former teams. And I'm going to say the Steelers do enough to win. Then they host Seattle. That'll be a tough one. DK versus his old team. I'm going to go Seattle squeaking it out on the road. Then they go to New England. I'm going to say they beat New England. And then they got to go to Ireland to face the Vikings in Dublin. I'm going to say they lose that game. So they're going to be 4-4 so far this year. 2-2 in their first 4. with a bye week, week 5. Early ass bye week. Coming out, they beat the Browns. They lose to the Bengals. They're going to lose to the Packers, beat the Colts, and beat the Chargers. And hell you want? You want to say hi to the people again? Huh? What do you think? Huh? Coming around and bugging me. What do you think you're doing? Trying to show off for the people? Huh? What do you think you're doing? You little rambunctious little squirt? Go damn thing. God. I'm gonna have them actually losing to the Bears in a shocker. They lose to Buffalo, lose to the Ravens, beat the Dolphins, lose to the Lions. What's their record? 7-9. Wait, I can't do that. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No. It's illegal. Come on, what am I doing? They're gonna beat the Vikings, and then they're gonna beat the Ravens, and they're gonna go 9-8 again. 9-8. Boy. And then, of course, to wrap it up, we got the Ravens facing the Bills in a revenge game. This is going to be tough. But I'm going to go with the Ravens getting that clapback. They're going to win it by a field goal around there. Not Justin Tucker this time. They host the Ravens. They host the Lions week 3. And I actually have them beating the Lions, losing to the Chiefs somehow, because you know how that works. Beat the Texans. They're probably going to, I'm going to say, they're going to somehow find a way to lose to the Rams. Actually, no, they're going to beat the Rams. Beat the Bears, beat the Dolphins, beat the Vikings, lose to the Browns, like always, beat the Jets, and then they're going to beat the Patriots. They're going to lose to the Packers, and then there you go. 12-5 this year for the Ravens. All right. So that's the AFC North. It's pretty logical. Now we got freaking Rays out here being grammar police, huh? Hang on. See Austin? There we go. I got the Bengals beating us in Cincy, then we beat them in Pittsburgh. Yeah. All right. So that's the AFC North. Let me know what you think. Now, let's flip over to the AFC. Which one should I do next? Let's do AFC South. Yeah. AFC South next. Starting with the Titans. And like I said, they're going to be bad. They're going to lose to the Broncos, lose to the Rams, beat the Colts, lose to the Texans, lose to the Cardinals, lose to the Raiders. They're going to beat the Patriots. I think they're honestly going to lose to the Colts. Then they're going to lose to the Chargers at home. They're not going to be very good. But they will get their clap back against the Texans coming off the bye. They'll lose to the Seahawks, beat the Jaguars, lose to the Niners. They have to lose to the Browns. They'll lose to the Chiefs, beat the Saints, beat the Jaguars, and they're going to end with a 5-11 record. Then we go to the next worst team, which is the Jaguars. I think I actually had the Jaguars being really good last year. And they're going to start their season off against the Panthers. I'm going to say Carolina wins. They lose there, then they'll lose to the Texans. Actually, no, they're going to beat them at home. Yeah. Then I think they lose to the Niners, lose to the Chiefs, lose to the Seahawks, lose to the Rams in London. Actually, no, they don't lose in London. I'm going to have them beating the Rams in London. That's a long ass trip for the Rams. Then they have a bye, coming off against the Raiders. Both teams coming off a bye week. Raiders beat them. Then they well, they already beat the Texans once. They're not going to beat them twice. They're going to beat the Chargers. They're going to lose to Arizona. They're going to beat the Titans. Actually, no, I have them losing to the Titans. That's right. Yeah, that's right. Well, no, I had them 6-11 for the Titans. Okay. Funny, the Titans go 4-2 in their division, but yet they go 6-11 overall. That's tough. Colts will beat the Jags second game. The Jets will beat them. The Broncos will beat them, and then they'll get their clap back against the Colts. So they go 4-13. I'm not just doing this because I want them to be horrible. If I wanted them to be horrible, I was going to have them going 0-17 this year. Scores the winning touchdown on a goal line, one with a second and goal on Cincinnati 7-yard line. Bro, that would be crazy if that happens. So that's what I have for the Jaguars, and then of course we go to the Colts. They start off, they're already 2-3. I have them. They're going to beat the Dolphins, but then lose to the Broncos. They're going to lose to the Rams, beat the Raiders, and then beat the Cardinals. Lose to the Chargers. They go to Germany week 10, and they're 5-6. They're going to somehow lose to Penix. They're going to lose to the Chiefs. And then they're going to, have they beat the Texans already? No, they have not. Texans are coming off a mini bye, which is a Thursday night game. CJ Stroud wins that one. Seahawks beat the Colts. Niners and Colts here on Monday night. JB Taylor versus Rocha. I think the Niners are going to win that game. And there you go. So they go 5-12. So yeah, Texans. They're going to lose to the Rams, like I said. Bounce back. Okay. Beat the Bucks. Versus CJ Stroud. That's going to be a banger. They're going to beat the Seahawks on the road. Hang on. This cat is like getting in everything. Right? You're going to help me make these picks. Okay? Want to hang out on my. Oh, can't have you hanging out there. You're going to hang out right with me. Yeah. You want to hang out with me? Huh? You want to hang out with me? Huh? No. You know what? I'm going to take you back outside so you can hang with your friends. All right? All right. Now that that's out of the way. So, Texans versus Niners in Houston. A semi short week for the Texans. I'm going to say, CJ Stroud wins that game. Then they lose to the Dolphins. I mean, lose to the Broncos. Bills, Texans week 12. Bills. Chiefs beat the Texans. Texans beat the Cards. They beat the Raiders. And then they lose to the Chargers. And there you go. They go 9-8 this year. All right, so yeah, they go 9-8, right around there. Tough schedule, but I think they can definitely do it for sure. Kitty, you sound like that. You sound like Boo from freaking Monsters Inc. Kitty. Uh, like I said, there's some barn cats that live around here, and a couple of them have discovered the life hack of coming inside to eat so they don't have to fight with the other ones. Because we have like 6 of them out here. They're crazy. Lunatics. Ah, man. Well, this talking makes me thirsty. All right, so that's the AFC South. I'm sure y'all are going to have some things to say about it. Let's go to the AFC East, shall we? So we're going to start off with the worst team. AFC East, New England. They face the Raiders week 1. I actually have them beating the Raiders. And then they're going to lose to the Dolphins. Because the Dolphins have owned the Patriots, dating back to Tom Brady being there in Miami. They're going to lose to the Steelers, beat the Panthers, lose to the Bills, beat the Saints, because the Saints are going to be like booty juice out here. They suck. Probably going to be the worst team in the NFL. And then they're going to lose to the Falcons, lose to the Bucks. They're going to find a way to beat the Jets. And then they got the Giants week 13. The Giants are going to beat them. Yeah. Coming off the late ass bye, they have the Bills at home. Mike Vrabel is going to find a way to get the job done. Jets on the road, week 17. They're going to beat them. And then they're going to beat the Dolphins week 18. So they're 8-9. Not bad for Drake May and them, but yeah, we'll see how things shape up. Moving on to the, I believe it's the Jets. Yeah, the Jets. Starting off with a loss. They actually rally and beat the Bills week 2. Then they face Baker and they lose to them. And then they go to the Dolphins. I think they're going to actually lose to the Dolphins on the road. Cowboys, they're going to win. Cowboys are going to beat them. They'll beat the Broncos in London. And then I have them actually beating the Panthers. They'll beat the Falcons and then they'll beat the Dolphins. So they split 6-9. And then I have them beating the Saints and then losing to the Bills. So I have them going 7-10 this year. Yeah. We go Dolphins. Starting off 2-7. Yikes. Yikes. But I do have them actually losing to the Bills. So they're going to be 2-2 to start. They'll beat the Panthers. They'll beat the Chargers. Then they will go out and probably lose to the Falcons. They'll lose to the Bills. No, they'll split with the Bills. Split the bill. Haha. Commanders in Spain. Give me Washington. Saints, they're going to beat them. And then the Bucks at home. Tua versus Baker. Man, I mean, it's going to be tough. But they're going to have Achane in them back, I think. So, they'll squeak one out against the Bucks last couple games of the season. So they go 7-10 as well. And then you got the Bills, and I'm going to have them beating the Saints. They're going to beat the Falcons, beat the Panthers, lose to the Chiefs. They're going to beat the Bucks, and then they're going to lose to the Eagles. 11-6. And then we end up with the AFC West, starting off, of course, with the Raiders. They lose to the Patriots. They'll beat the Chargers at home. lose to the Commanders, and then they'll beat the Bears. Lose to the Chiefs. So you know, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win. They'll beat the Broncos on the road. And then they'll beat the Cowboys. Actually, yeah, they're going to go on a 4-game win streak after the bye. They'll lose to the Chargers, lose to the Broncos, lose to the Eagles, then they lose 3 in a row, or 4 in a row. They'll beat the Giants, and then they will beat the Chiefs last game of the year. Loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win. Nah, actually, I don't think that's how it's going to go. They're going to beat the Colts. Yeah. They're going to beat Indy. And I think that's pretty much it there. They're going to go 10-7 this year. Yeah. Then we got the Broncos. They're already 6-2. They'll beat the Chargers on the road. They start off 4-0 before they lose to the Eagles. They lose to the Jets in London. They'll beat the Giants. And then I have them beating the Cowboys. Again, the Cowboys aren't going to be that good this year. No. They're going to drop off. I could see the Cowboys winning that. But their defense is meh, and they have no run game. Broncos will beat the Chiefs in a dazzler. That game will be like showtime. Then they'll go to Washington. They'll lose. They host Green Bay. They'll beat them barely. Then they'll lose to Kansas City, and then they'll beat the Chargers. Oh no, I think they'll split. So there we go. Actually, I'm going to say they split. Oh, that's better. All right. So they're going to go 11-6. Of course, you got the Chiefs, who are still damn good, starting off on Friday in Brazil. They're going to win that one. Then they got the champs. Eagles are a damn god squad. They're going to win that game. They're going to come back and beat the Giants. But it'll be tough, though. Russell Wilson is serious now. Like, that's a serious team in New York now. Lions, week 6, they'll beat them somehow. Week 8, they have the Commanders coming to town. Go with Chiefs. Yeah. So they are going to their bye with one measly loss to the Eagles. Coming out of the bye, they lose to the Broncos, beat the Colts, beat the Cowboys. They'll pretty much run roughshod. I'm going to say they're going to go 14-3 this year. Yeah, they're going to go 14-3. They're pissed off because they just lost the Super Bowl. Not to mention, they have the power of the Swifties on their side now. Not to mention, did I say how they stole the St. Louis Cardinals devil magic? Yeah. I heard a rumor that they snuck into the St. Louis Cardinals dark magic vault and they stole a good portion of it and they buried it under midfield of Arrowhead. And so that's why they've been getting all these lucky calls and stuff. And now they have the Swifty magic too. Yeah. Of course, they have the magic of Riff Ball. They have their trump card, the ace in their sleeve, Ref Ball. They're going to go 14-3. Yep. So that is the entire AFC side. And now let's flip over to the NFC side. Starting off with, let's say, the NFC West. They had the worst division winner last year, 10-7, which was a tie between them and the Rams in Seattle. So San Francisco, they're already 3-2. They face Seattle on the road. They always do well against them. I have them beating Seattle. beating the Saints. Then somehow they're going to lose to the Cardinals because, of course, they beat the Jags. They'll beat the Rams. Their second home. They'll lose to the Bucks. They'll beat the Falcons. They'll lose to the Giants. They'll beat the Rams again because they own the Rams. Like, yeah, they'll own the Rams. And then they beat the Cardinals. They beat the Panthers. They lose to the Browns before their bye. They beat the Titans. They beat the Colts. They beat the Bears. And then they beat the Seahawks again. So there you go. I got them going 12-5 this year. Bounce back year. Everyone stays healthy. Brock Purdy is an MVP candidate again. CMC's healthy, and Kittle and them are all rolling. Yeah, I got them going 12-5. Their floor, I'm gonna say, is like 9-8. Now going to who finished in third in that division last year. Of course, it was Arizona. They beat the Saints, beat the Panthers, beat the Niners, lose to the Seahawks. So they start off 5-6 before the bye. They come out against Dallas. Dallas is going to beat them on Monday night. Then they lose to Seattle. No, actually, no, they're going to sweep. They're going to split. They're going to split with Seattle. So there you go. Coming out 6-7 right now. Tampa going to beat them. They'll beat the Rams at home week 14. Beat the Falcons week 16. And then they'll lose to the Rams week 18. Yeah, there we go. So they go 8-9. Too bad. Not too bad. Seattle 5-4 right now. They beat the Saints. They'll beat the Bucks. They'll lose to the Commanders. They'll beat the Rams. They beat the Vikings. They'll lose to the Falcons. I think they'll actually lose to the Falcons. They'll lose to the Rams week 16 at home. Actually, I'm gonna think. Rams ain't. No, I'm gonna say the Seahawks sweep the Rams. Or as my guys say in Uptown, I always call them the raggedy ass mother truckers. With their broke back quarterback. It's true. He got a broke back. My back is broken. Be like freaking Mike Tyson. I broke my back. Spinal. He's got back issues and stuff. He barely did anything during training camp. I don't know if he's even going to last. And my God, if they go to Jimmy freaking G, they're cooked. So yeah, Seahawks are going to beat the Panthers week 17, lose. So yeah, they actually go 11-6 this year. And then the Rams, I think the Rams would be all right, but they're going to lose to the Eagles. They're going to beat the Saints, and they're going to beat the Bucks. Lose to they're going to beat the Panthers on the road. Lose to the Lions, and then they're going to lose to the Falcons. They go 7-10. So that's the NFC West. I know it's bold, but hey, it is what it is, right? Now we go to the NFC. Let me see right here. Which one do I do next? NFC South. NFC South. And of course, we're going to start off with the Saints. And they're not going to be good at all. Lose to the Giants. They're actually going to, I think, win a couple games somewhere. They're not going to win many games, though. They're not a very good team, obviously. They just want to beat the Buccaneers. Then they're going to beat the Saints. They're going to beat the Panthers. Lose to the Falcons. Lose to the Bucks again. Panthers are going to get that clap back on the road. And they're going to beat the Falcons last game of the year. So they're going to go 3-14 this year. They're not going to be good. Coming up in third from last year was the Panthers. I already have them at 2-9. They're going to beat the Falcons, lose to the Cowboys, lose to the Packers, lose to the Falcons week 11, and then they're going to beat the Bucks week 16. They're going to be 4-12. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. I think they'll be better than that, though. That's just how I have things going right now. Then we have the Buccaneers, I believe. Or no, it's the Falcons. Yeah, it's the Falcons. Yeah, that's right. Atlanta will beat Tampa week 1. They're going to lose to Minnesota week 2, lose to Carolina. They're going to lose to Washington. And then they will beat Atlanta. No, they're going to lose to Tampa. They're going to split with Tampa. And they're going to go 8-9 this year. That's how ass this division is. And then the Buccaneers, 6-8, lose to the Eagles. And then they're going to beat the Lions. And then beat the Panthers. They're going to go 8-9 as well. That division stinks. I don't think that division's going to be any good this year. Honestly, I could see it also going like this. I think the Bucks could also very well beat the Texans, beat the Falcons. But I have them kind of going, actually, there's a couple games I'm going to change here. They're going to beat the Rams, and they're going to lose to the Falcons there. Actually, no, they're going to keep, yeah, let's keep that. That's perfect. 9-8. Go. It's better. Can't have them, all the 4 of those teams under 500. Hell no. I have them going 9-8 this year. Now we go to the NFC East. I think, or is it the NFC North? NFC East. Their division lead winner had 14 wins. Starting off with the worst team last year, it's the New York Giants. I have them at 3-3 to start. I have them actually beating the Commanders. They'll beat the Cowboys because the Cowboys just ain't really got anything right now. They'll host the Chargers, they'll lose to Kansas City. They'll beat the Chargers, lose to the Eagles somehow. But I actually do have them splitting with the Eagles. So they'll start off the season 4-1. And then they lose. Actually, no. 1, 2, 5-1. And they go to Chicago week 10. I think they'll beat the Bears, lose to the Packers, lose to the Lions. They'll beat the Commanders. No, actually, no, they're going to lose to the Commanders. Yeah. They could beat them. Beat the Vikings, and then the Cowboys are going to beat them week 18. They're going to go, actually, no, you know what? Yeah, that's better. 10-7. I got them going 10-7. This is all because they really have a good quarterback in Russell Wilson. If their defense plays like they can, because their defense is really good, I think they can definitely make some noise. Now we move on to Dallas. Week 1, lose to the Eagles, they lose to the Giants. Oh, they're going to beat the Bears. And then you get Micah Parsons coming to Jerry World. He'll beat the Cowboys by himself. Beat the Commanders. And then they're going to lose to the Eagles again. They're going to get swept by the freaking Birds. That's tough. They lose there. They'll beat the Lions somehow, beat the Vikings, and beat the Chargers. And then week 17, they're going to go 8-9 this year. A lot of teams going 8-9. Holy crap. It's actually crazy. I have a lot of teams going 8-9. Mid. They're mid. Now, in second place, we have the Commanders. I think they lose to the Giants, but then they beat the Packers on the road. They'll beat Herbert. They'll beat Caleb. So they'll start off actually on a 5-1 stretch. Lose to the Cowboys, lose to the Chiefs, beat the Seahawks, beat the Lions again. Then they will Sunday in Minnesota. The Vikings are gonna beat them somehow. And then did I have them beating the Eagles earlier? Oh no, they play the Eagles twice in the last 3 weeks. Ooh, I think they split. Each team wins at home. So they actually go 12-5 this year. And then you get the Birds. They're 10-2. They go to Minnesota. They'll beat them. They'll come out sleepy against the Packers in Lambeau. They'll lose that game somehow. And then they'll beat the Lions because they're pissed off. Week 13, smack the Bears. Week 14, beat the Chargers on the road. And then they go 14-3 this year. Right up there with the Chiefs. And then we end it all with the NFC East, starting off with the only team in that division who did not make the playoffs, the Bears. 5-12 last year. This year I have them losing week 1. They'll bounce back week 2 against the Lions. Honestly, though, yeah. It's the Bears. It'll take them a few weeks to really get going. They lose, then they lose 2 more. I'm actually going on a 3-game losing streak. Ouch. They will beat the Vikings again, though, and they'll beat the Vikings in Minnesota. Beat the Steelers, lose to the Eagles, beat the Packers on the. Actually, again, they'll split there, and you'll beat the Lions at home week 18 to go 7-10. And then you get the Vikings. You know, the team that no, it's Green Bay. Let's go Green Bay next. All right, Green Bay. Starting off with a win over the Lions. They start off 3-1, 4-1 off the bye, 5-1, 6-1, 7-1, 8-1, 9-1. Vikings at home in Lambeau. They're gonna beat them. They'll lose to the Lions week 13 though. And then they face the Vikings week 18. And I think the Vikings get them. Because it's 12-5. And then, of course, that just leaves the Vikings and the Lions. Vikings starting off 3-0. They lose 3-0 after that. They rebound with McCarthy. They beat the Chargers. Lose to the Lions. Lose to the Ravens. Lose to the Bears. They go on a massive ass losing skid. They're 6-10, but they do beat the Lions week 17 to go 7-10. Then you got the Lions. Wait, the Lions are 6-11. I don't see the Lions being that bad. Let's switch some stuff around on their schedule. I don't see them being that bad, actually. Them beating the Bears week 2. And then they'll beat the Bucks week 7. And honestly, I think they could beat the Commanders week 10. Because they're a very good team. That'll put them at 9-8. And then they'll actually beat the Bears week 18. Yeah. So there you go. They go 10-7 this year. Yep, 10-7. But listen, they could win even more games. I could see them beating the Packers week 1. They could beat the Ravens. They could beat anybody. They're a really good team. So I believe that's all for that. Those are all my picks. Wow. All 8 divisions are set. Now, let's see here. Okay, 5 and 12, 14 3, 11 and 6, 10 and 7, 8 and 9, 12 and 5, 11 and 6, 8 and 9, 6 and 11, 12 and 5, 10 and 7, 7, 10, 5 and 12. Yeah. Everybody's set. Now let's have some fun. Let's see if I could get to the playoffs. Wild card round. Oh, here we go. Wild card round, according to my predictions, would be Denver and Houston, Cincy and Buffalo again, and the Raiders and the Ravens. And then in the NFC, Commanders, Bucks again, Packers and Seahawks, Niners and Lions. I'm going to say Texans win there. Bengals win there. Ravens win that one. Commanders once again beat the Bucks. Packers win, and the Niners win. Divisional round. Ravens and Texans again. Ravens, Chiefs. Again. I'm going to say ooh, uh Niners, Eagles. Conference championship round. Chiefs and Ravens, Eagles and Niners. Chiefs, Eagles again. Because these guys are going back. What? A back-to-back? And Eagles win another one. Hey, they're a God squad right now. Yeah, so I got them winning again. So yeah, there you have it. Just messing around. But those are my divisional picks and stuff for the predictions for this year. And that's going to wrap it up for this one, guys. So I'm going to poof myself right back in the middle here. And as far as upcoming streams this week, like I've said before, I'll be live later on tonight for the series recap, Guardians and Red Sox. I forgot they have another late getaway game at 6 o'clock. First pitch around there. I'm not going to be streaming the game, but I'll definitely go live afterwards to recap the series and preview the series that starts against the Rays this weekend. And then Friday, I'll be, well, actually, no, not Friday. Saturday, I'll be live for Grambling State, Ohio State. Sunday, Browns, Bungles, and then we'll go from there. Elephants going winless? That's tough. Nah, they'll win some games. But yeah, with that being said, guys, that is going to wrap it up for this one. As always, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell, and I will see you guys later. I'm Crazy Dog. Let's go Browns. Have a good day, and football is back tomorrow. Eagles and Cowboys. Wow. And then, of course, Friday we got the game in Brazil, and then Browns play on Sunday. Let's get it. Go Browns. I'm out. Bye-bye. Yeah.